So are they doing like signature skill or whatever that they've tried to do in the past?
Yes, they are actually
It looks like.
taking that from Madden, which I think is the one the one really good thing that Madden has done over the past few years
Yeah.
is the Superstar X Factor, which assigns abilities to star players in the league that are unique to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's worked really well in Madden, and I was pretty surprised to see that in this trailer. I didn't know that NHL was adopting that. It's pretty exciting.
They've tried to do it before, but I guess it was more like archetypes rather than.
Yeah, yeah. These are
Um,
meant to um, be things that are unique to the player and sort of like reflect some aspect of their game in real life.
right.
Um,
Um,
so, like in the trailer, we see that Austin Matthews has one. Andre Vasilevsky has one. That's really about all we got. It just shows us that the game is going to have them.
right. Yeah,
Um,
they didn't show it for everybody because they didn't show Sid's.
no, they didn't show Sid's. You know he's
Um,
going to have one. You know
yeah,
McDavid's going to have one.
yeah,
Um, I mean, it makes sense that Austin Matthews was spotlighted in this trailer the most because Toronto's the most popular team.
right.
But yeah, I was
And he's already been on the cover, right?
he was on the cover in NHL 20, so he will not be the cover
Yeah.
star. There has been speculation about who the cover star would be, because there was a. So this was the reveal trailer that came out a couple hours before we were recording today. 2 days ago, there was a teaser for the trailer, which was just like a little,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just like a little 5 second showing you the ice and like the reflections in the ice and like
Sure.
a little skate going by. But the ice is it's Madison Square Garden. It's New York Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So people thought Artemi Panarin was set to be announced as the cover star, which
Hmm.
which I think makes a lot of sense. It's a big market. He's a superstar player. He hasn't been on the cover yet. He's young.
Yeah.
Um,
Got
also,
some baggage though.
what do you mean?
He had. I think he had some homophobic shit, and then he had the weird, um, Russian op smear campaign against him.
Okay, I wasn't aware of any of this.
So there was a thing where a story came out of Russia that he had I want to get this right. I think it was that he assaulted a woman. And the Rangers and like even the NHL like circled the wagons immediately and said that no, this is a Russian smear campaign because he came out against Vladimir Putin.
Oh, okay.
Um, and so he had to like take away time from the team. Um, yeah, it was.
And then what's the deal with the homophobia?
I think he just made some remarks that were not. I want to get that right too because I don't want to.
Well, so I should say this is just speculation based on that teaser. There
Sure.
hasn't been a cover athlete announced yet. Leading up to this, like all summer long, people thought the obvious pick would be Nathan McKinnon. Because he's arguably, he's one of the three best players in the league for sure, and he hasn't had the cover yet. But yeah, I wasn't aware about that with Panarin.
Oh, this is okay. It wasn't homophobic. It was just racist. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
this was when he was with the Blackhawks. This came out. A video of Chicago Blackhawks winger Artemi Panarin surfaced on YouTube from an interview with a Russian TV station in 2012. In that segment, Panarin and another teammate from the KHL are asking questions to one another in Russian, and one of the questions was asked, "What could you never do?" In response to the question, Panarin jokingly responded, "Have sex with a black woman." So he's
This is a
basically
very
the
unfortunate
hockey,
theme on our show now.
he's the hockey equivalent of John Mayer,
John
is what I'm
Mayer.
getting from this. And yeah, this is becoming a running theme on the show. I did not realize it was racial remarks. I thought it was homophobic remarks.
See, I was like earlier today, I was like, okay, that would be a good cover pick. He seems like a likable player. It would be kind of like a slap in the face to Tom Wilson, like fuck you, Tom Wilson.
Sure.
But
yeah.
yeah, no, after this,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, at least apparently the assault thing is
fake.
Weird Russian propaganda or something. But yeah, so he said that 10 years ago.
Well, it's good to know. Now I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll have to wait and see who the cover athlete is. I'm now hoping it's not Artemi Panarin.
Maybe it'll be who is it? Capo Caco?
Do they still have him?
Yeah, wasn't he like their hot shot prospect?
Oh, he was. Yeah,
really
the Rangers made some moves this summer. I can't keep track of, but
I think they kept him.
Did they?
They made some dumb moves. I was trying out Game Pass, and there's only like a few games on PC that I really have any interest in, which is good because then I can just kind of play what I want out of the free trial and then be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, well, maybe I should the games I play on PC don't really test my 3070 all that much,
Right.
I'm playing Final Fantasy 14, it can do max settings, no problem. And then I'm playing like indies, which I could play on a toaster, basically. Like I'm playing games that don't even have like frame rate settings,
Sure.
Like they're just like, yeah, it'll run it, unlimited frames. Like just do it. So then they have all the Bethesda shit because they own Bethesda now.
Yeah.
So Doom Eternal's on there, and I was like, okay, well, I really like the first Doom, in the remake series, or the reboot series. So I was like, yeah, let me play Doom Eternal. And it's an 80 gig download, so it takes a couple hours. And so I booted up. Well, I think I'm booting up the game. But I'm booting up some kind of like a multiplayer install. And so it wants me to sign into a Bethesda account, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to play multiplayer. I want the campaign. Like I want the point of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I exit out of that, and then I have to go into the Game Pass menu and try to find where the hell they install, like where I can click to launch the campaign. Because it's not just like the rest of the games where I can just click on it and it boots, no problem.
I've noticed
so
that. I've noticed that some games that are really large, they will give you the option of what to install first, almost like the campaign and multiplayer are two different downloads. Was that the case here?
It didn't give me any choice of what I was downloading. It was just like, hey, this is just downloading Doom Eternal.
Okay.
And I had to wait for the full 80 gigs. Like there was no choice. It wasn't like on PS4 or PS5 that, because that's what I've used. So it's like, oh hey, like if it gets to this point, you could play the game, but it's gonna install the rest of it in the background or whatever. There was none of that. So then I finally found it's like, oh yeah, do you want to buy Doom Eternal? I'm like, no, I want to boot the version that I thought I was downloading. So then I finally found it. They still want you to sign in with a Bethesda account for an offline campaign.
Yeah, that's the new thing. Ubisoft does that for all of its games.
Well, yeah, like you expect that from Ubisoft and EA and like all that shit. And it's like, okay, well, Bethesda's doing that now. It's like, well, I didn't need to do that for the last offline Doom. I I might have a Bethesda account, but like they've had data breaches and like all kinds of crazy shit with Fallout 76. I honestly don't want to do that. So I look, and some people are like, well, if you restrict Doom from having like if you tell it in your firewall settings that it can't access the internet, that just won't appear. That you can just play the game. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I do that.
Yeah.
No. No. It still wants me to log in.
Wow. So yeah, the workaround for Ubisoft games is to just disconnect your console from the internet and play offline.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, like, no, I'm not going to unplug my Ethernet cord just so I can play Doom Eternal. Because it's like, what if I want something on my second screen? Like, it's so ridiculous. So I wasted 2 hours downloading this, and it's like, no, I'm not going to try to figure out what my Bethesda login was just to do this. Like, even though this is a free game, and I wasted 2 hours downloading it, it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, this is ridiculous. So I uninstalled it, like, immediately.
Good for you holding your ground.
Yeah, like, that is bullshit. Like,
it is.
Like, come on. What really bothered me too is anytime you boot up a game in PC Game Pass, you have to allow it to have access to your Xbox account, which I guess is like their way of saying like, hey, do you still have Game Pass?
Mm-hmm.
So you do that for Doom. It's like, hey, are you like, do you want to give Doom your Microsoft account? It's like, yeah. So like they have my Microsoft account. So now you want me to have another login for an offline game? Like,
yeah, it's too
so
much.
Ridiculous.
It's too much, and when all the companies have this, it's like, what are you even supposed to do with all these accounts?
Right. And I just did this too. I just cleaned like a really old email of like old accounts like that. Where like I had like a Blizzard login and shit like that I changed the email to like a newer one so I could stop using this ancient ass middle school email.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like there's so many fucking accounts. It's like no, I can't.
I know.
This. Yeah.
Like I eventually caved and signed up for Ubisoft because I'm like, I want to play a game, a single player offline game with no multiplayer component, and I do not want to disconnect from the internet every time. So I'm just going to give in, and I signed up.
It's like, yeah, I probably have technically a Ubisoft account too.
Right.
Because I guess on PlayStation, it just kind of creates one for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the fuck the credentials for it would be. Because they used to have those Ubisoft points or whatever the hell. It's like, I don't know what the hell all that shit was. The last Assassin's Creed game I played.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's so dumb.
It's not even like there's...
Can't wait for Starfield.
Oh, yeah.
Where you gotta log into a Bethesda account to play it. Like,
is that game coming to Game Pass like day one? Or no?
Probably.
Yeah, I'll probably...
I think they said it.
If it is, I'll probably try it out.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Another annoying thing with Game Pass is that so Hades is on there, and I'm like, okay, cool. I could play Hades at a decent frame rate that is not the like 20 frames or lower that it gets to on the Switch when there's a lot of enemies on screen. And the PC version on Steam and the Epic Store has cross-save with the Switch version. But the Game Pass PC version doesn't. Which is really, really annoying.
That is.
Because it's like, it's the same PC version. But, what, because it's wrapped up in Xbox, it can't cross-save?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So you...
But it's like...
Did you bother with it then?
So I played a little, like, I did a few runs, but it's just like... I never got too far in the game because I'm pretty bad at it. Like, I was still stuck on the Hydra, I think, which is like the second boss.
Mm-hmm.
But I had like almost everything unlocked, like all the upgrades and shit. So it's like I'd have to get all the gems to unlock everything again. So
yeah, I just remember the last time I played that game, like last year, I thought I was really clever because I was able to bypass this mini boss, this annoying mini boss, on the way to the main one.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize that if you just bypass the mini boss, then he'll show up alongside the regular boss, and you're facing them both at the same time. So then I took a break from the game, and I never came back to it.
Yeah, and it's like the other thing is that it's a roguelike that tells a story, which is really cool, and like it's got these great characters and all these interactions with the characters, but when you're seeing it for the second time. Mm-hmm. and you just want to try to make some progress, and you just have to skip all that shit.
Yep.
It's like, okay, all right, and don't get me wrong, the game does a really good job. Like, you're thrown into the game pretty much immediately, but it's just like in between every run, you got to skip like all this dialogue because you've seen it already.
Yeah, I'd actually forgotten because I did boot it up last week just for a little while, but I didn't get very far, so I didn't feel like it was really worth mentioning my experience with it this time around. But I didn't remember how it just does throw you right in there. Like, you're doing a run immediately without any any cutscene, any dialogue, anything. Like, you're just thrown in. And I wish more games like kind of started that way with like an action sequence of some sort. You know what I mean? Because it just really gets you right into it.
Right, and that first run is part of the story too.
It is,
it's
yes.
Like, yeah. But yeah, that's the half-hour game segment.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had I have like a weird idea for a segment, which I guess was supposed to go at like the very beginning of the show, but who gives a shit? Where I'm trying to learn how to read tarot cards.
Okay.
And so I figured this might be just awful audio because nobody can see the cards, and you can't see the cards.
No, I can't.
Only I can see the cards. So it's like a one-sided magic trick, I guess, or something.
How do I know you're not making it all up?
Well, I mean, I will be regardless.
Oh, true.
but so yeah, so I figured I could do a reading or two. And I thought maybe like at the beginning of the show I could do a reading to see how well the rest of the show is going to go.
Okay.
Or I don't know, maybe if you have any questions.
Yeah, I mean, this is really
about your future.
I could not have predicted this.
Well, there you go. Yeah, then So yeah, so what are we interested in? Are we interested in to see how the rest of the show is going to go? Are we
Well, I mean,
what are we looking to find out?
The answer is poorly, right? I mean, that's how it usually.
Yeah, I suppose.
So it's not much of a not much of a prediction. I mean,
no, so you have no faith in this segment and the ones that follow? Is what you're saying?
Well, maybe. All right, maybe I should sort of have a more optimistic view. All right, let's do it. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. All right. Hold on. All right. Let me shuffle these. Should I ASMR, get it really close to the mic?
Of course.
These are very thick cards. I can't really. Hold on. You can't really shuffle them like you would like a regular deck of cards. But I'll try. Because there's 72 of them, you know. That sort of did it.
I heard that, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there are a ton of different spreads, and you can kind of make your own spreads, is what I'm learning. So we could do like a daily, which is kind of like 3 cards. Or we could do something very specific, like there's one for spiritual tarot readings you could do to jumpstart a new business, if we're interested in that one. Or practical business tarot spread to help you strategize.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Well, what does the daily involve?
the daily is like just you could do yes or no questions, or just sort of like 3 cards to say like past, present, future, like what the day is like going to do.
Now, I do. Can
Sort
I
of
ask a
thing.
question before we get started on this?
Yeah.
What led you to this as like a new hobby? I guess.
Um. So, do you want the short answer or the long answer?
I guess. I guess short.
Okay. The short answer is Persona.
Okay. I understand now.
Oh shit. And also in Final Fantasy 14, my main class is Astrologian, which is a healer that uses cards to buff the party. So
Is there
I feel
like,
like I'm suited
is
to
the
it.
next step after this a cosplay?
No, I
Okay.
don't think that's for me.
All right.
So should we do a simple yes no maybe?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So maybe you should ask the question then.
Okay. So it has to be a yes no question.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I guess we'll keep it to show specific, right? So will we have a good rest of the show?
Okay.
Pretty simple, but
All right. So it looks like it has to be so there will be a series of I'll be drawing 3 cards. So there will be three factors. So there'll be a factor supporting having. Okay, wait, hold on. How did you phrase your question?
So will we have a? I'll say, will we have a successful rest of the show?
Okay.
Maybe that's
All right. So there will be the first card will be a factor supporting having a successful rest of the show.
okay.
The second card will be a factor against having a successful rest of the show. And the third card is what we need to know the most about having a successful rest of the show.
So like
Right.
that's like guidance. That's like advice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. First card is the Princess of Pentacles. Let's see. I don't know all the suits all that well, like the minor ones, the minor arcana that well.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have to look that one up. So give me one moment. I will be cutting the shit out of this thing. Okay. Oh, we have a clear vision in mind and are now setting plans in action to make it happen.
Oh, I mean that lines up. That makes sense.
That does line up.
Yeah.
Thirst for learning, fueling your entrepreneurial spirit with curiosity and wonder. Huh.
And this is all from the Princess of what was it?
Princess of Pentacles.
Okay.
By reframing work as play, you allow yourself to approach learning as a new adventure.
I mean, I feel like
Move
this
forward
is
with reason
this is
and
on the money.
practicality, and set your sights forward to expand. Realize your potential by allowing yourself to grow. Okay. I feel like that's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. All right. So then our next card is the factors against having a successful rest of the show.
And we can't skip this part
No,
because I'm feeling
no, we can't.
very confident after that first
Sure. Yeah.
one. So
All right. We have the 10 of Pentacles.
oh,
Accomplishment and completion. You've reached a point of success on your journey, facing challenges and overcoming them. The foundation for achievement has been set, and you are now able to kick back, relax, and enjoy your efforts.
So the show's over?
So the show might be over.
Oh. Okay.
Legacy and tradition are important to you so that you're still able to make an impact after you're gone.
It's a little dark.
Okay. Oh, so it says here that if we're unsure of what this means, we could just like add another card on top of this one.
I mean, I feel like it was pretty clear. Like this podcast will be your legacy. This is what you're leaving behind to the world.
Okay. Our third card. What we need to know the most about having a successful rest of the show. I feel like I didn't shuffle these enough because this is the Four of Pentacles. This is the card of control and stability. Lock and key. You've got your finances stashed away with double security. Nope. No, I don't. You're in complete control of what goes in and what goes out, dutifully standing guard at the door. Saving is a habit that you've mastered. Nope. And you've racked up enough in the bank to be financially stable and independent. Nope. You're in complete control and conservative about how you spend your money. Nope. Valuing your possessions. Watch out for penny pinching to the point where you don't allow yourself to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
So that was a big swing and a miss.
That one, yeah. I feel like the first card.
The first card was great. Like that was on the money.
Yeah.
Even the second card, because I do feel like you're leaving behind a significant legacy here. I should say I should really point out that this is your legacy and not mine.
Yeah, you want nothing to do with this.
It's your show,
right?
Your legacy.
Oh boy. Okay.
So it's not all supposed to be three of the same, like it's not supposed to be three pentacles, ideally, right?
No. I think the shuffle was bad. Is what that means.
All right, well, we can chalk that one up to the shuffle.
We could chalk that one up to the shuffle.
If you don't follow the rules, then you can't get the answers that you seek out. Yeah.
Should we try another one, and I'll have a better shuffle here?
Of course.
All right. So then if that's gonna be like you're saying that's my legacy, that's my answer. Should we do something more relevant to you?
Oh,
you have a question specific to you?
Oh God, I really struggle just to find that first question, honestly. I don't know if you happen to have any.
Let's see. There's a ton of spreads here. Career spreads, love and relationships, spiritual, self-growth and personal development.
These are all touchy subjects, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Dream interpretation. Have you had any interesting dreams that you'd like to figure out?
I can't say I have. I honestly, I'm someone who really doesn't care about dreams very much. Like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but if somebody starts to tell you about their dream, I just kind of like zone out.
Okay. A 6-card tarot spread for self-love.
Okay.
Self-love and acceptance. Would you any interest there?
Sure.
Decision making.
I've always struggled with decision making.
Okay, here we go. Is there a specific decision that you are struggling with?
Whether to continue being on this podcast.
Okay, all right. Bringing it full circle. I honestly thought it would be the RuneScape trad wife that really sent you away, but maybe it's my own psychosis.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I could really take something positive away from this right now.
Sure. Okay. So this is going to be 5 cards. I'm still shuffling, but I'm going to explain. So this is going to be 5-card spread. All right. The first card is going to be your motivation. What excites you? What compels you forward every day? How does that affect your decision? Second one is your ideal outcome. In this world, what would you truly like to happen? If you could close your eyes and dream, what do you really desire to get out of these circumstances? If this card says something about Big Brother, I'm going to shit a brick. Your values. What are your principles? What do you value? How does that affect your decision? And so then cards 4 and 5 are the 2 likely outcomes. What'll happen if you take this path, or what will happen if you take this other path?
Okay. And the 2 paths are continue doing the show and not continue doing the show.
It'll give you the options. This isn't a yes no.
It's not. Interesting.
No. Okay, so this is a different one. The yes no spread is like 3 cards sort of left to right. This one is I'm making like a cross pattern here with the 5 cards.
Interesting.
Okay. I feel like I have to explain that because this is an audio medium. All right. I feel like I got a good shuffle in this time. First card, the King of Swords. This is for your motivation. Clarity, mental strength, cerebral. Power lies in the mind. Intellectual strength gives the King of Swords his edge, ruling with dignity and authority. His judgment is sound, based on objectivity to find the honest truth. He detaches himself from emotions and believes in solving problems using his intellect and fair objectivity. Thriving under structure and rules, the King of Swords is able to sort through systems and look back at history in order to find his answers. He asks you to accumulate your wealth of knowledge and detach yourself from your emotions. Research before making important decisions, carefully weighing all your options with scrutiny. Experience has led the King of Swords to embrace rules and to lead with a conscious compass. In his kingdom, structure follows freedom to flourish. I feel like
so
that...
it's my show now?
No, I feel like this is describing your motivation, your mindset, and I feel like this sort of comes to a T.
Does it?
Yeah. Accumulate your wealth of knowledge and detach yourself from emotions. Research before making important decisions, carefully weighing all options with scrutiny.
Yeah, but I don't do any research for this show. I think that much is clear.
No, but I just mean in general.
Oh, this isn't specific to the question that I asked?
It is, but like this is your motivation in general.
Oh, okay.
This is
So we're taking a more broader look at just myself.
For the motivation part, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Number 2, this is at the center of the cross. This is your ideal outcome. The 9 of Cups. Wish come true. Fulfillment. Your wish is my command. The 9 of Cups is referred to as the wish card. In the tarot deck, it is a surefire sign that your wishes will be granted soon. Graced with abundance, you are personally feeling yourself as you've reached a sense of completion with a major goal or project. There's a balance between all areas of your life, health, wealth, love, relationships, as your ideal lifestyle blossoms into fruition. Your heart's desires have been attended to, reaching deep emotional satisfaction and fulfillment. Count your blessings and all the good things that life has to offer by living to the fullest. Gratitude is the attitude, my friend. This is poorly. Indulge in life's sweet fruits and treat yourself. It's very important to enjoy the journey, making the destination so much sweeter.
Yeah, no.
So you could read this as saying that being on the show is the fulfillment of your wish, maybe.
I mean, we're in a pandemic, and so it is something that I look forward to every week. So in that sense, it's fulfilling. I do learn interesting things. We can get some stories that I don't know. I'm looking hard for something in this one here because
Sure,
I feel like
okay.
I'm not. It hasn't captured what I was hoping for me.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get some more clarity here.
Okay.
Third card is your values.
Mm-hmm.
The Ace of Cups. I thought I shuffled. Creativity. Emotional expression. Spread the love. You are being offered a taste of refreshing opportunities, full of emotional expression and fulfillment. The water in the Ace of Cups is allowing you to flow with love and creativity in your relationship with yourself and others. Free flowing, you allow yourself to pour your feelings in a way that is cleansing and nourishing for your soul. A desire for compassion and connection is inspiring you to lend a helping hand to those in need. So maybe you're helping my ass out. By sharing your gifts with the world, you become much more open about who you are and the unique talents that you bring. Creative juices are ripe and glowing with new possibilities and the beginning of deep love, compassion, and happiness. Your energy is contagious. Don't forget to pass the cup and share the good vibes. The more you give, the more you receive on multiple levels.
Okay. I'll make sure to pass the cup. I will remember that.
You have to pass the cup.
Yeah. Good vibes only.
Good vibes only. Pass the cup like it's communion wine. All right. So 4 and 5. These are going to be your outcomes. This is for your decision making here. Okay.
By the way, is this like Gen Z tarot cards? Good vibes only. Like what is?
Maybe. I'm going to draw both of these at the same. It doesn't say to do this, but I'm going to draw both of these at the same time. It feels appropriate since these are your choices here.
Okay. Do I have to pick one at the end?
That's up to you. Or you could ruminate on your decision.
Okay.
I'm not going to, hold you to that in the moment. The Princess of Wands is your first option. And the Princess of Swords. Interesting. Okay. So 4 is the Princess of Wands. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Creative expression, spark, free spirit. Positive and passionate, the Princess of Wands dances with lighthearted abandon. She has an enthusiastic outlook on life and is brimming with ideas that she is dying to share with others. Open to discovery, she yearns for adventure, wanting to try anything and everything. By exploring the unknown, you learn more about yourself in the process. She is a catalyst for change, bringing a burst of inspiration to begin new projects for you to continue forging your path forward with your vision. Creative self-expression is her mantra, and she encourages you to be exactly who you are, to step into the spotlight and show your true colors.
So
very interesting.
It's interesting. It's also like so far, it just makes me feel bad about myself because it's like I'm not doing nearly enough.
What are you talking about? You fill up all of the show notes here. That's what you're bringing.
Okay. All right.
You want to try anything and everything.
Okay.
You're down with the clown,
I'm down with the clown. All right, what's the second option? Because I feel like that one might be better.
The Princess of Swords.
Yeah, I like the King of Swords. So
okay. So see, there might be coming full circle here. So you have the option between two different princesses here.
Mm-hmm.
If only we were all so lucky. Inquisitive, verbose, lively. Sparks fly high with a twinkle in your eye. Jesus Christ. There are a million ideas floating around in your head, and you can't wait to tell anyone and everyone about them. Combusting with excitement, your creativity and brilliance cannot be contained. The Princess of Swords urges you to put your ideas into action and to go for it. Young, idealistic truth seeker, you have a gift for gab that has the ability to translate effectively to others. Writing and speaking come easily to you, which will aid you when it comes time to spread your ideas and message. With a thirst to learn, you constantly ask questions and want to know the why of how things work. Your high energy and curiosity are endless and feed off of your willingness to find the answers. With time comes experience, and the more you go after what you want, the more wisdom and experience you will gain.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So On one end, you have this sort of high energy creativity, and on the other one, you have a more creative inquisitiveness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it said I have a million thoughts or a million ideas going on in my mind, which really it's just calling me out on my OCD.
Well, hey, but there's some insight there.
Sure. And then it's I speak very easily is I think one of the...
It says you have a gift for gab, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to this show, I think we all know that that's not true.
Well, when you get going about NHL or some indie artists, I think the words then come naturally.
Okay. I mean, if I had to choose one, I would probably go with the Princess of Swords.
Right. I feel like the swords is more like your suit there.
Yeah.
Since we drew both the king and the princess.
Yes. I think that definitely has to do more with with me than it does your shuffling abilities.
Yes. Quite. So yeah. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight into your role on the podcast and made you gave you some clarity about whether you want to stick around or not.
So we had a good run.
We did because my polls told me that the show is coming to an end.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted.
And yours said that you have too many ideas, so you have to go do them instead of this. Oh, okay. Well,
I'll have to come up with better questions if we do this again. I think that might play into it better if we have better questions.
Yeah, and perhaps if anybody has other questions, we could do they could send them in, and then a week later I could give them a reading.
Yeah, I would much prefer that. If anybody wants to do that, that would be great.
So yeah, there you go. And it'll flow much better once I actually know the cards. I know the major ones, but like whenever it gets to the 5 of Pentacles and the, I don't know those ones.
Sure.
And of course, these are also just the interpretations that came with the tarot set that I have, so that you could read these in other ways depending on the your interpretation of them.
Interesting.
So yeah, so that was the unnamed tarot segment.
It was good.
So,
I think it fits audio pretty well. I think it's entertaining.
Okay, good.
I'd like to see it again.
Okay, good.
I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you go through it for yourself, like okay. doing your own readings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then next week I will come up with some questions for myself and some spreads, perhaps. So, it has been a very busy week, all around the world, and some people have been a little busier than others. So there is a story that I saw that I really want to get into here. And last week we brought up everybody's favorite internet image board, 4chan.
I should probably say, while we were talking about that last week, I really have no experience with 4chan.
You're better off.
I thought that I had a good idea of what it was, and then after, because I was kind of going in, I was very negative on 4chan last week.
No, as you should be.
Sure, but you know what I was thinking it was the whole time? Because I remember a few years ago there was a story of stuff coming out of 8chan.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming is just an even worse version.
You are correct.
Okay, so last week in my mind, I had stuff from 8chan is what I was thinking we were talking about, but really we were talking about 4chan. I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but I just wanted to mention that.
So 8chan was a spin-off of 4chan because 4chan banned child porn.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, you're on the money. 8chan is worse.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the biggest reason why.
Yikes.
Uh-huh. So this week, a 4chan user got himself into a situation of his own making because he decided to take a little trip to Afghanistan the week that it was taken over by the Taliban. Like for a joke.
So I saw you put this down. What is the joke meant to be here?
Haha, isn't it funny that I'm a privileged white person going to Afghanistan? Like, look at these people that are in crisis, and I don't have to worry about that shit.
Okay.
That's supposed to be the joke.
I see.
Yeah.
Not really, but okay.
Yeah. There's not really much of a setup or a punchline.
So did he went before it was taken over by the Taliban, right?
He went while it was about to be taken over.
Okay.
So he went on the 13th of August. So last Friday.
Oh.
So while shit is going, like, about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was basically taken over the weekend. Like, so he just did it. And he posted his, he basically blogged his, travel experience on fucking 4chan. And it is unfortunately real because he, like, doxed himself the entire way. So he literally went to Kabul just like days before it was taken over by the Taliban.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can go through his experience here because it's just the insanity of it. So his first post was, like, he even just gives his name. Like, he gives his name out on 4chan. All right. So his name is Miles. And he, because, like, normally 4chan is supposed to be anonymous. That's the whole point.
Oh, really?
You're anonymous. You're just known by whatever the random code gives you whenever you make a post.
So it's like not even a username?
No.
Interesting.
So, but you can give yourself a username if you want. It's just like nobody does that because they're all anonymous little trolls. All right. So he titles his post "Just Chilling in Afghanistan," and then he posts a picture, like a selfie. Decided to pop down to Afghanistan for a few days. Never been before. Just goofing off and soaking in the sun. Seems more peaceful than London to me. Ask me anything. Somebody says timestamp or fuck off. And then he posts what appears to be, I don't know, some piece of paper. And then another photo with his face. I don't know what the piece of paper is. And he says, I have more photos. Did a little trolling at the bird market this morning, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. Then he has another post. My room is nice. It's hidden off the street and barricaded with several steel doors and checkpoints with guards. I've got a 32-inch fat TV. I've got AC, which works surprisingly well. Double bed and the mattress is rock hard, but apparently that's the custom here. I kind of like it. I've got a private bathroom and I get breakfast in the morning if I want it, no charge. They also offer takeaways. Checked Uber Eats for shits and giggles and nothing. So I got some food last night. Very good and cheap. It's like, yeah. It's almost like there are people here with a culture to themselves
mm-hmm.
that exist. Like, what do you... Like he went as if he was like going to the zoo. Like he's just. And it's like, no, there are people here that live here.
Yeah, this is really pathetic.
And so then he posts a British Airways American Express. Either the person that is reposting this blurred out the number, the card number, or he did it himself. And so he says, if the Taliban kidnap me, the plan is simple. I'm legally, technically a lord, bought fake certificate, wore a suit in a bank, and talked the talk. I don't know what that means. So it says lord on all my bank cards. The Taliban may see that as a reason enough to keep me alive, thinking it may hold some negotiating power as they'll think I'm important. Let's hope it won't get to that stage, though. And so on the card, it says Lord ML, and then his last name.
I can't imagine anyone more attention starved than this person. Like, this is really just, it's sad.
Just imagine this little dweebus going into a bank with a suit. It's like, oh, I wore a suit to the bank. Oh, you're a big boy.
He
and
talks
talked
the
the talk. Whatever that means. Where they just ask what your name is. And he's like, yes, I'm Lord Miles. And they're just like, okay, sure. And of course they'll put that on your card. You could say your name is Barney the Dinosaur and they'll put that on your debit card. Like, what the
Mm-hmm.
And this is his plan, is if the Taliban gives a shit enough about him, they will not kill him on sight because that's what they're going to do to him, is what he thinks. They will keep him for ransom because his debit card says Lord on it.
Now, did you say where he's from? Is he from like the UK or the US?
He's from the UK. I skipped over that part. He's from the UK.
Okay.
So like, but who is he planning to be ransomed to? Does he think the UK is going to give a shit?
Yes, his homeland.
Like what? So that's his plan. So then there are replies from people saying that it's like, oh, it's not that bad. Kabul won't fall within a few weeks. So then he goes to a porta potty in the middle of the desert because what else is he going to do there other than realize that there are just people that live here and it's not, just a complete blasted wasteland. Like, there are people that live. Like, I basically took the best piss of my life from this view. I really do like this country in many ways. It's like, yeah, there are people. Like, what were you expect? Also, thank you everyone for the support and kind words. Okay, so then he talks about what his flight over was like. The flight was quite interesting. The plane was full, which was weird. I don't know why. Why is that weird? Half was full of young adults and teenagers who all talked with one another. They came in from Turkey, so I assume it was some sort of exchange program or school trip. I managed to make jokes with them, and I showed them how to watch Western movies for free online. Wish I gave one my Netflix account. Why would you do that?
That's not a good idea.
Why would you give any stranger your Netflix account?
I hope you don't use that password anywhere else.
Yeah, like what? There were 3 white people, all of which I spoke to. Okay. One was for business, one wouldn't tell me, but I presumed business or gov, and one worked in the UK embassy. So he looked dead when I told him I was there for tourism. He said, I think we'll be seeing each other soon, haha. Okay.
You know what some of this reminds me of? It's like, that the bit where like you have like an alien from outer space trying to like incorporate into society and like observe human life, and they're just like so fascinated by like just like everyday stuff.
Yeah.
That's what this guy is.
Yeah, because he's a fucking he's like, his only social interactions are browsing 4chan.
Yes.
And so he's going out into the world. And
it's like, look at all these people talking and communicating with each other on the plane.
Yeah, it's like these students from Turkey are joking with one another. It's like, why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be? There were 3 white people. It's like, yeah, they're everywhere. Like, why wouldn't there be? All right, so this is now the 14th he's posting. Hi all, no issues where I am right now. I hear no gunfire. If I did, I'd shout out the window for them to be quiet as I need my sleep.
Ugh.
If they invade Kabul tomorrow, I'll buy a ticket to Turkey and then wait in the airport and depart to another country. Then the adventures happen all over again. Looks like I'm going the extra mile, haha, cause my name, get it, haha. All right, so then he continues. Thank you all. I shall keep you updated if I hear anything. I'm going to get some sleep now and wake up around 8 a.m. here or possibly earlier if some bombs drop. If it's a heat-seeking missile, I'll place some candles in the opposite direction to send them off course. This physics degree thing is really paying off. Nighty-night all. Christ, and I love every one of yous.
I hate his sense of humor so much.
It's a total void of sense of humor. It's just nothing. All right, so it turns out that he is posting on 4chan and he is also updating his Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So there are posts on his Facebook page as well. So this is from his Facebook page, and this is accompanied by a photo of a city street and a bank with lots of cars, tons of people. There's a bank run. Basically, banks lend out your money you deposit in so they can make more money. That's a simplified way of looking at it, but yeah. Issue is everyone is trying to withdraw all their money at once this morning. ATMs are dry. People are fighting in the streets and the military is fleeing. Taliban on TikTok said they have sleeper agents in the capital that will seize power whenever the code word is given. The government has until 4 p.m. to surrender. I will go to the embassy if the flights run out or if missiles fly. Okay, and then this one is from 4 hours after that one. Country in anarchy. Saw a few dead in a car crash. Military is fleeing and only a few brave stay. Embassy is closed, so I walk to the airport and am safe. We'll find the British representatives and get a flight out. You know, just get a flight out.
Yeah, I mean, he's a high priority. You know, he's Lord Miles, so they're going to be looking out for him for sure.
Minutes after that post, no more flights in Kabul. I'm stuck in Afghanistan. Bit of a pickle. So then this one's like an hour later. Found the hidden international resistance place. It has mostly Turkish, but they've invited me in, and I found the British. Let's see what'll happen from here.
I found the British.
I know. It's like, yeah, they had to evacuate the embassy. They couldn't just stand there and wait for this dipshit to be like, hi, one ticket back to England, please. It's like, no. No, the city was overrun. Let's see what'll happen from here. Got a badge, British lads. I'm basically hidden away and should be good. All part of the plan. Totally, totally, totally. Okay, and then he apparently did a 35-minute Twitch stream explaining his situation. It's currently not up. I don't know if he removed it or if Twitch removed it. It is not up. I didn't get to see it. In the meantime, Emirates flew a plane to Kabul and it turned around in midair. So this is now on the 15th, on Sunday the 15th. He posts a selfie of himself. There's a pillow behind him, like he's in bed. Hey guys, slept really well. Took the most intense morning poo reading everyone's analysis of how much time is left. If I only have 72 hours left, I better spend 71 hours goofing off. Outside my window is fully peaceful. Also to the 2 people who hijacked my thread arguing, you're both wrong. No, I will not elaborate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's apparently in a hotel. So he's explaining his situation in this hotel room. So there's a 32-inch fat TV which picks up Pakistan channels. LOL. I don't know why that's funny. Double bed, but the mattress is rock hard. AC is actually 6, so the temperature gets too cold sometimes. Desk space is nice, and the shower kind of works. I've clogged the toilet again, but we'll fix it or leave it as a present for the Taliban. Sometimes this dude's just like shitting his brains out.
Yeah, sounds like he has a bit of a problem there. He really likes to point out the rock hard bed too.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Then he says, an idea, lads. I've been emailing the BBC trying to get an interview to do some trolling on national TV. Not the first time I've trolled on TV, but this would blow up. Any ideas on how I can get a reply? They haven't responded in 36 hours. He's being left on red by the BBC.
How dare they? Don't they know where the real story is?
He wants to do just a little bit of trolling. My God. Wouldn't be the first time I've trolled on TV. What a badass. Okay, so then he's posting another plan if he gets captured. Picture I get captured. I basically say all the normal Islamic greeting, whatever the fuck that means. I don't speak and let them know I'm reasonable and calm. I don't want to be annoying. Too fucking late, my dude.
Mm-hmm.
When they ask why I'm here, I'll show them the Quran app and go, I come from a Western country with corrupted religion, morals, and degenerates. I have been searching for God and learned about Islam. I came over here because in the UK you can't discuss true Islam because the government is against it. I renounce the West. Oh my God. I came to Afghanistan as I heard about its respectable, reasonable people like yourself. I didn't go to Dubai or elsewhere because of lockdown. As the Quran says, man's travel to seek knowledge about God should be respected. I'm not Jewish. Not media, not government. I'm not like them.
It's incredible.
I don't like them. I've come here to learn and give to charity. I am not your enemy, my friend. I understand if you want me gone. If you let me go, I will leave within an hour. You have my word, and if not, my head. Because that's all they want. That's all they want is his head.
Yeah, and it's so much better when you think of him just sitting in an air-conditioned hotel room, coming up with this entire thing in his own head, unprovoked.
Yes. Because this is all the Taliban wants, is they want to convert this stupid little UK white kid, or they want his head. Those are the only two options. That's all they want.
Yeah, the past 20-year war has been about Lord Miles and who can control Lord Miles.
Yeah. I asked that you let me go. I have an elderly parent at home, and I don't want them to learn that I didn't make it home. Obviously not said in one go or so robotically, but that's the general script in one. Play on their emotion. Do the us versus them game and show them how easy it is for me to get out of their hair.
You know, I'd like to see this guy on Big Brother. I really feel like he could be a very good strategic mind.
If it was so easy to get out of their hair, why isn't he gone yet? If they ask why I'm clean shaven, I'll say it's because the Western government wouldn't let me fly with a beard as they try to stop me learning about God or something. If I do it with confidence and sincerity, I stand a good shot at being let go. Famously, nobody is allowed to fly with a beard.
Oh, man. It's just...
There's a reply. Don't let the pussies in this thread get your head and spoil your holiday, lad. Trust the locals there with you and go have fun. Soak the atmosphere. You still have 4 entire days.
You know, he paid for that hotel. He might as well make the best of it.
Oh, shit. And then somebody tries to come in with some realism. It will be overrun in less than 12 hours max, probably less than 8 before the flights stop. Taliban also won't give two shits if you're a Muslim or not, so pretending to be one would do nothing at best. And at worst, they figure out you're shitting them and get angry. Pretending to be / converting to hasn't saved any Westerners. You would probably absolutely be taken hostage and likely for years until you're maybe released, but more likely executed because they no longer need you to exchange for prisoners. All around a stupid ploy. Pick a Western business that does a lot of work in country and say you're with them or you're just sorting out final affairs before leaving. Or a naturalist who studies bird migrations or something. Literally anything else besides a wannabe convert.
I don't really appreciate this commenter. I mean, he's really bringing him down on his vacation.
He's ruining the chill vibes.
I know.
So then he posts a picture of the safe house that he's in. This is what I mean by safe house. Several layers of metal bulletproof doors and this final door here. And whoever has reposted this has blurred it out. Then he has a picture of him leaving, or like in his outside part. Oh, I'm still doing some tourism. We called ahead to the police and army. It is still safe according to them as the Taliban doesn't care about those areas. Meanwhile, people are begging him to go to the airport and call the embassy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just saying no.
What sucks is that I have a feeling the story ends in this guy being, rescued. Which, the idea that any resources at all were used on this fool is very sad.
Well, let's
Let's keep going.
This post just, all caps, a jet just flew over my house. It's already his house. Another sideways photo of just like a man in a bicycle with a bulletproof vest, some cinder blocks. Hey guys, it's gotten worse. We got to the top of this hill mountain and saw Taliban forces. We turned around instantly. They are very close. Tried to book a flight out for today, but there is none I could find. The numbers for the embassy don't work or just calls out. I'm driving back to the safe house, gathering my essentials, and will be knocking on the door of the embassy. If I'm stuck here, I will wait it out until the 19th in my safe house. What is that gonna do? Okay. I will clear the room so it looks like nobody is living there. I will live in the roof. Now this is just goofing off. I feel no fear though.
Oh yeah, sounds like it.
The irony of him trying to pull a bin Laden, trying to hide out in the roof,
Yeah.
or trying to dig the pie hole or whatever, or was that Saddam that was living in the pie hole? Remember that whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
Unironically, this is fun. This is what I live for, my friends. If I die with dignity and Christ in my heart. I forgive anyone who will kill me. Let's see what my options are. Heading home and then the airport. I have a global GPS tracker that I will activate and share with the MOD. I don't know what the MOD is. Maybe some UK thing. I will also buy a knife and stock up on water. Maybe. That sounds likely. I will also buy a knife and stock up on water and basic compact foods. This is if there are no flights and no embassy. I will try to help the man who is trapped. Tell him to contact me. You guys know my full time, but I can risk a ban for typing it out again. I don't know what that means. Plan is pack, embassy, airport, and then on the run. Thanks, lads. Okay, then he says, got into my hotel, heading to the embassy. Covered myself in a burqa so they wouldn't tell I was a white guy. My God. Embassy closed, so I walked almost an hour to the airport. I took off the burqa halfway and am wearing a headscarf. Trying to find the British ambassadors. I'm safe at the airport, however. Short response for now. Only essential talk. We'll update with time. Jesus has saved me, I hope. I will either die a man or leave with giant balls. Hee hee.
Only essential talk.
He joked about converting to Islam, but it seems like he converted to Christianity, partway through this.
And what happened to the original intention here of being the white man who's free to walk around wherever he wants to? Now he's going back on that, huh?
Yeah, he put the burqa on, yeah. Meanwhile, it's not a burqa. I think it's just a towel that he actually just wrapped around himself.
Of course it is.
So he continues, things aren't good for me right now. As I spoke to the journalists about my experience, I actually remembered them. I didn't remember them before. I've emailed the mental health people at a borough university, so hopefully they can help me. I'm struggling to stand and keep down water. I don't think I'll sleep tonight. I've seen too many dead people. I just wanted this whole thing to be a little charity thing. What? Where I can explore a weird country, but I've mentally broken down. I'm not sure what's going on right now. My face in the mirror doesn't look right. What would the where's the charity?
Yeah, I'm confused about that. This is a guy just parading around a foreign country for his own amusement. Yeah.
At this point, he's started deleting shit because he's like probably doxing his location.
Mm-hmm.
People are wondering if somebody took his phone. So this is another Facebook post now. I've been telling journalists this, but despite how interesting my situation is, that's one word for it, please remember I'm comfortable, whereas the average Afghani is fearing for their lives. My tour guide is currently fearing for his family, and his only crime is going the extra mile and saving my life. I can never repay him, and that saddens me. I've heard about some kind of people gathering money for my trip, but please put it to better use and donate to some charities in the area. A few dollars or euros will make all the difference for a family. It's what I've been trying to do on this trip, but sadly it's never going to be enough, and that pains me. I hope you're all well, guys. When were you doing that?
Yeah.
When were you doing that?
He's had this sudden shift in perspective where he's sort of showing some semblance of like humility, but
yeah, it only took seeing some dead people and this poor fucking Afghan person who is throwing their life away to help his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying that he was going to give to charity but didn't.
Yeah, he's like, I was going to donate my life savings to help the citizens of Afghanistan. I don't even know, like, what... This was the first you're mentioning of it, so I can't believe
right.
you.
Yeah. So this is another Facebook post. No internet, so I don't know if this will post, but I've got on a list for Dubai and maybe flying within a few hours.
He's going to use up his miles. Get it?
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
His mile, because that's his name.
Yeah, that's... Yep.
It's funny.
So then he starts complaining about what he's allowed to bring on the flight.
Oh my god.
On the flight out, we aren't allowed any liquids at all, no razors, and only one bag up to 10 kilograms, so everyone is tossing all their belongings into a pile. People are donating each other their items because they can't carry them. Some lads stuffed my body armor and bag with protein bars, over 20 of them. Very happy man right now, thank you lads. Okay.
Did he show up to Afghanistan with body armor, or did he get that along the way somewhere?
He had to have gotten it somewhere
along
the way. And then he posts a selfie with there are a ton of refugees behind him. A lot of them wearing masks. He, of course, is not.
Ugh, yep.
And he says, the happy ending. Landed in Dubai thanks to the brilliant people at the British Army. All safe! Exclamation point.
So, I'm assuming that his seat on the plane, if he was not there, would have been given to a refugee.
Yes, that is correct.
So, like, fuck this guy.
Yes.
I mean, we've already known that, but seriously.
Yeah, no, if he never did this, yes, that would have been more room for people that were fleeing the country. Yes. For fleeing the country that was their home, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. It's a hell of a story, but it's awful.
Yep.
Just the sequence of events and the decline in his his just like you see him like slowly losing his mind. It's really great.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like starving for water, sun scorched, emailing some kind of mental health facility or something.
Yeah.
Whatever that was about. I don't know what they were going to do for him.
I really loved when he's like, I found the British.
Yeah.
Unreal.
God. Just absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just post all this shit. You can just...
Yeah, the fact that he's just like trying to keep up this act throughout, and he's like he's like cracking at certain points, but then he tries to bring in his lousy like humor to it. It's just it's so clear that he's like freaking the hell out.
Like what did you think was going to like what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah,
you know,
it's a good question. I'd say that maybe he knew as much as the U.S. government did about how quickly this would fall apart, but I mean, like, it's funny, but at the same time, like, you're thinking about the fact that there are still so many people that need to get away. You know?
Yep.
And, like, as of the time we're recording, I just don't have a lot of faith in the U.S.'s efforts in doing this and in helping refugees.
No, of course not.
Because, like, the statements that they're coming out with, like, I read this morning, the Secretary of Defense was like, he kept saying, he or she, I don't know the secretary's name, but they kept saying, like, we want to get as many people out as we can, but we just don't have the capability. And they kept saying the word capability. Like, what does that even mean? You don't have the capability to get people out.
It's like, sure you do.
Of course you do.
Sure you do.
And then this whole idea of like,
what are these trillions of dollars for?
Exactly. And then the idea
sure
that the idea of like Biden's clock that he's made, like this August 31st deadline, where people could just be out of luck on that date, that arbitrary date that he has made. So what, you're just gonna leave people that you've put in this situation?
Yeah, all of a sudden it's a hurry.
Yeah.
It's been 20 fucking years now. It's like, all right.
I'm sorry, there's nothing else we could do. We're going to pack our bags. Good luck with that. Meanwhile, Afghan citizens, like women, so many women have not left their homes since the takeover.
Yeah.
Like it like you listen to the Taliban's like spokespeople and how they're trying to assure everybody that they're trying to make a more inclusive government and women will retain some rights. But then you hear these stories on the ground of like the violence that's erupting. And it just is completely counter to what they're saying. And you just have like, it's very hard to believe anything they're saying.
Yeah.
So just a horrific situation. But Lord Miles made it home.
Right. Yeah. So now he can do this again whenever the U.S. pulls out of a fucking country they shouldn't have been in the first place.
Yeah.
And have a little holiday.
Document his experience to all of his 4chan friends.
Because everything can go right for him, you know?
Yep.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Because
at the end of the day, what was it? It was just a trip for him.
Yeah, it was an experience that he can tell people about.
Yeah.
It's like, look at this story that happened to me. How wild is this?
The worst thing that happened to him was that he had diarrhea.
Yes. And that his bed was hard. And the air conditioning was a little bit too cold.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
I know. How you can have like a lack of self-awareness, even in the middle of all that, is just it's just wild.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens whenever you fucking raise yourself on 4chan.
Yes. Like, do you think there was like a thread of like people discussing this idea, and he was the guy that decided to go through with it, taking this vacation?
Probably.
Probably,
yeah,
right?
But it's like everything to them is a joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he went to the bird market and he was just doing some morning trolling.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that means.
I know.
But then it's like, yeah, you have 1,000 people, cheering him on.
Right.
Because that's what they do. Because they want to see the worst thing that could happen.
Of course. And it's like, meanwhile, you turn on the news and you have people clinging onto the outside of airplanes just trying to get out. People that didn't have a choice to be there in the first place.
Yeah, and he's upset that he can't take liquids on.
I know.
It's like, well, you fucking can't do that on a commercial flight, you ass.
Yeah, that was incredible. The only thing you should care about on that plane is yourself. Being on that plane is your actual being.
I feel like Suicide Squad and Evangelion can take place in the same conversation.
Oh, okay.
And so, okay. So, Suicide Squad, or I guess the Suicide Squad, the one that just came out, is basically a redo of a Suicide Squad movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it, like, the first attempt, it's almost like it didn't happen. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think maybe there was like one reference to Will Smith, but beyond that,
if there was, I didn't catch it. I think there was like a passing reference to Harley Quinn knowing the guy that looks like the guy that played Bane. The guy looks like Tom Hardy but isn't Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about the military guy, right? Like Rick something.
No. The one that beefs it in the beginning. He was in the other one.
Oh, was he? It's been so long. And that was hardly a movie to begin with, so I don't really remember much from it.
Yeah, he was like the only other one that was like in both.
Okay.
I don't remember what the fuck his name is, but the one looks like Tom Hardy.
Anyway, I feel like there are at least 3 actors that you've said are like knockoff Tom Hardys.
Well, there's a bunch. There are a bunch, but that's one of them. But anyway, like other than that, like the movies have nothing to do with each other.
They don't. They don't
whatsoever. So this was a redo of a Suicide Squad movie.
Mm-hmm.
And these Evangelion rebuilds are, because we don't have to talk about Suicide Squad. It was fine.
Oh, we don't?
Do you want to?
I mean, I was curious what you thought about it because we hadn't really discussed it outside of the podcast. So,
all right, we could do it. All right. I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it didn't like blow me away, but it was like, okay, wow, they actually made a movie this time. Is like my reaction to it.
Yeah, it's a very low bar to clear.
Yeah. Like if you have a musical cue set to like the Pixies, like I'm gonna be into it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But like you said, it was a really low bar.
Mm-hmm.
Good visuals, some good character moments. Like it was a fine movie.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much it.
The starfish was cool.
And that's Yeah, it was. It just reminded me of the fucking demon from SMT, Decarabia. So like, I was just like, oh yeah, they're
Oh
just
yeah,
fucking
that's
Decarabia.
totally what came to my mind as well.
But yeah, like it was fine. It was competent, and that's like all you could ask, really. I thought, like just having a fucking cast, like a better cast, and not just Will Smith like cashing a paycheck,
Sure.
makes a world of difference. Like if you contrast like Will Smith and Idris Elba's acting, like like come on,
It's true. Yeah.
like come on. And then you like, I thought John Cena was surprisingly like pretty damn good.
Yeah, I actually wasn't surprised by that. He has turned into a good comedic actor in the right situations. His like comedic timing is very good.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in like a real thing.
Yeah, he's mostly done like those big studio comedies that are mostly like mediocre, but I've seen one or two of them, and yeah, he knows what he's doing when it comes to that kind of role.
Yeah. And I thought his character was like, like the satire of a Captain America ass,
Yes.
like that one line, like I'll bring peace no matter if I have to kill women and children or whatever.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
was just like so perfect.
And that one where he's like, it's not a toilet bowl, it's an emblem of freedom or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like it had good lines,
Mm-hmm.
And every time they like went into like one of these new characters' backstories, it felt like it was just like, needlessly like explanatory, like as a joke.
Right.
Like the rat catcher shit. It was just like, oh yeah, this is. It doesn't matter what these people's backstories are. Like, they're just gonna blow shit up anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, I thought the beginning was great because it's like, it doesn't matter if these are established characters or just fucking random nobodies. Like who cares?
I gotta say though, for a random nobody, one that really shined for me and left a lasting impression was Weasel.
Sure.
And like, I don't know if it was the influence coming off of Sexy Beast for a few weeks in a row there.
Oh God in heaven.
But like, I realized after I watched this movie that my favorite characters were all the like animals, because I was really into Weasel. I really liked the shark dude, and the rat was cool. Like I was into the rat. So I don't know. It's something about it. I don't know.
Something's awakened in you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you might need to watch out. Yeah, I liked King Shark. It's kind of weird to divorce the Harley Quinn show King Shark, which is like voiced by Ron Funches, who is like such a specific voice.
Yes.
Because I kind of thought this King Shark was just kind of like, oh, it's kind of Groot again, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, this was Guardians of the Galaxy, just like a bit meaner.
Yeah, well, the thing was, like, I never, like, every time I tried to watch Guardians of the Galaxy, I literally fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I never watched it. But yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's just Groot.
Yeah.
Except this time it's Sylvester Stallone.
Of course.
But it's like, yeah, like it doesn't fucking matter,
Right. Right.
Like this doesn't need to be, like who cares if Idris Elba is dead shot or dead whatever?
Blood sports.
Yeah. Who cares what that,
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just the shooty guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter so much to the point where it's like when they try to do like an earnest like moment about like their background. Like remember when they were on the bus? And you have the two characters sort of like connecting because they have sort of a similar past in a way.
Yeah.
It's like that almost felt out of place because the movie was not taking itself seriously outside of that.
Well, that's why I felt like it was so extended that it was like parodying those moments of where it's like, oh, now's the part where we have to explain why these characters should give a shit about each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to go on for so long. Like Ratcatcher 2 was going way too deep into her backstory in order to provide that.
Yes.
And so it was like parodying those moments in the movies, I felt.
Yeah. I don't know if I fully want to give it credit for that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
But
I mean, that's fair.
But yeah, like there's a reason that people were excited when James Gunn signed on for this, because it fits well, because it's basically the same thing that Guardians of the Galaxy was.
Right.
You know, it just works.
And that's basically what people wanted.
It's what people wanted, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, the starfish was really damn cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was so into that. Like the whole final act was like really good spectacle. And like there was a story I saw this week, like an interview with James Gunn, where he had an idea that for Superman to have been the original like villain of this movie, which sounds interesting. Like it could be interesting.
Which I think is the plot of that Suicide Squad game that's supposed to be coming out eventually.
Oh, is it really?
I think so, because that was like the trailer.
Huh.
That's like from Rocksteady, like the original Arkham developer.
Right.
So, because Superman was like evil and whatever in that trailer.
So then I guess it's a good thing for that reason that this didn't overlap.
Right.
And then also, if Superman was the villain, we wouldn't have got the starfish. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm happy with the decision.
Yeah.
It's not often that you sympathize with like a giant like kaiju character that's like smashing up a city.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they pulled it off. They pulled that off.
Yeah.
And like DC with their films, they've had a real like villain problem. Not very many compelling villains throughout their movies in recent years, so they had something going in this, at least, you know?
The biggest sin of the first Suicide Squad was wasting Enchantress. Wasn't even a character. Just squandered that.
Yeah.
Ugh. And then you think we could have had Guillermo del Toro Justice League Dark movie. My God.
Yeah, that would have been really interesting.
Ugh. Remember what they took from you.
Yeah. What is he up to anyway? Because he hasn't had a film come out since winning Best Picture for Shape of Water.
He'll like tweet every once in a while. He's like, "Hi, I'm like coming up for air. I'm working on some shit."
Oh, okay. He's had his name attached to a handful of things, like executive producing and whatnot, but still waiting on like his next big project.
Yeah. Yeah, but so anyway, so this was like, you know, a redo of Suicide Squad. And what I also watched this weekend was the Evangelion rebuilds that are now available on Amazon, including the last one, which is the first release of the last movie. That I think it hit theaters in Japan, maybe for like a brief time, but like it's the first time these movies are fully out and they're fucking finished, because the first movie came out in 2007, and so the fact that this last one is coming out, the previous one, which was, hold on, I believe it was 2012.
So are these the same people working on it for the most part as the original anime series, or no?
It is the same writer-director. It's Hideaki Anno.
Okay.
So let me double check this. Yes. Okay. So Evangelion 1.0, You Are Not Alone, was 2007. 2.0 You Cannot Advance was 2009. 3.0 You Cannot Redo was 2012, and then 3.0 plus 1.0 was March of this year in Japan.
And that's the conclusion to the entire series, right?
Yes. Now, so they're called the Rebuilds of Evangelion. And they're not, like, trying to explain, like, what they are is so confusing, and it gets more confusing when you look at, like, the whole scope of what, like, this blurring of what remakes are, like, what is a reboot?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how, like, what are continuations of series? Because the first movie is basically a remake of the beginning portion of the original series. Like, pretty much to a T.
Mm-hmm.
Like, same scenes, same plot for the most part, just sort of condensed. But then from there, it goes in a completely different direction. And so it's like it's a retelling of the series, but then it loops back in on itself.
And I'm assuming there's like a you would need to see the series before the films.
You have to.
Okay.
You have to. You're missing so much context that it, like, the movie can't cover. That just sort of just glosses over. Like, it expects you to already know, like, how this world is operating.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, some just basic understanding of, like, what some terms and things are, and, like, what some character relationships are, because of the way that it'll, like, sort of change or twist what some things, like, it'll show like a specific visual that is supposed to evoke something from the original series that puts it into an entirely different context, but only if you recognize that exact same visual
Right.
from the original. And also, I think it would just be really fucking hard to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Without having seen the original series and the End of Evangelion movie. And that, like, that was my feeling in the notes that I wrote. And that was me seeing movies 1 through 3.
Okay.
And then I watched the last movie.
And this is the new one that just came out in March, right?
The one that just came out, because I hadn't seen any of these before, and so I was working my way through them. So then I saw the last movie. And it's fucking genius. It is fucking phenomenal. It is so goddamn good. The way it encompasses the entire original series, the End of Evangelion movie, and concludes its own series of movies all at the same time while being completely cohesive is such a hard thing to pull off, and it manages to do it. It's goddamn remarkable. It really is.
It's a lot to take on.
It really is. And so the other thing that is on Amazon is a 2-part documentary about the making of the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
2 50-minute parts, sort of following Anno and his team, mostly Anno, and a little bit about the background of his process, and, you know, because it's a documentary that goes through 4 years of the development of the movie. Because the last one came out in 2012.
Right.
It's been almost a decade since the last movie. And these movies have been spanning, it's been like 15 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
Just for these movies. And so the thing that you have to understand about Evangelion is that the response to the original anime ending, the last episode, the backlash to it was like so severe. Like people fucking hated the ending so much.
I'm a Lost fan, so I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Not that I can relate to not liking the ending. I just relate to hearing the backlash.
Right. Exactly.
To clarify, I love the ending of Lost. I don't know if that was clear, but okay, keep going. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah. No. Good. Just an insane amount of backlash. And in the documentary, he talks about this. He's like, yeah, I got death threats, and people even like I was reading online, and this is in 1995. So he was reading online in 1995. He's like, yeah, people were talking about the specific methods of how they were going to kill me.
Christ.
And he's reading that, you know. And at the time he was feeling like this is my life's work. This is my masterpiece. And then people were talking about how they wanted to kill me. And so like I was just going to do it. I was just going to kill myself, basically, is what he's
Wow.
And so then he makes End of Evangelion, which is at one point people consider it a redo of the two last episodes of Evangelion.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it is also a fuck you to the fans that didn't like the original ending.
Good.
While also coexisting with that ending. And I personally think it's genius. There are a lot of people that don't like that ending.
Of course.
So both endings are entirely controversial. So, and in the documentary, he then talks about how it's like anything he tried to make afterwards, it would just come out like Evangelion, no matter what he tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be like, this is just a shadow of Evangelion, like any project he would make. So then he decided to make the rebuilds. And so then these rebuilds just became, okay, you know, originally like maybe sort of a straightforward remake and then just sort of split off into their own thing. And then this last movie is a third ending to the series that still like holds the original now two endings as if they're all one and the same.
Wow.
And it fucking works.
That's like miraculous.
It is. It fucking works. And I have to say up front, I fucking cried. I cried at this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I cried at an anime film. Like, and it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Right.
Too. I'm just sort of watching the movie, and then, you know, it's like, shit, wait, what the fuck just happened to me? What happened to me?
Mm-hmm.
That this is like, that I'm crying all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking like literally decades of I mean, you haven't been following for decades, but a lot of people have been following this
Right.
story for decades.
Right. I only saw the original series originally maybe 2015, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been following it for that long. You know, I was playing catch up, and this is my first time watching these movies.
Yeah.
I just think it's absolutely incredible, and it's like the lines that get blurred between, you know, sequels and reboots and what like you could just see genius at work. Like you think about Twin Peaks: The Return
Yes.
and playing with audience expectations and playing with trying to give people what they want and saying, no, you don't actually want this. You do not want this. You don't actually know what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you something better than what you want.
Because fan service is way too
And
easy.
It is. It is.
I mean, it can be effective in the right context, but it's still it's the easy route.
Yeah. It's like you don't know what you want. You think you want Cooper hanging out at the diner. You don't want more of that.
No.
You want to see what I can do.
You don't want any more cups of coffee.
Right. And it's the same for Evangelion.
That's very interesting. I think you've convinced me to finally go back and finish that series, which I've failed to do a number of times now.
It's must. It's especially after this.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after this.
And so, just to keep track of everything, so the original series is on Netflix still, right?
Yes.
And what about the original movie that came after the series? Do you know where that is, if anywhere?
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. So they're both on Netflix. Then all four of these more recent films are streaming on Amazon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you could, like it's really easy since it's on Netflix and everybody has Netflix. If you could get your hands on the original translation, I would do so.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Netflix translation changes some things that screws with context of like a couple character relationships.
Yeah.
Just the way that they interpret some like Japanese phrases. Other than that, it's fine. But there are just a few moments where they take a very literal approach. When they shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
In order to convey what they need to in English.
And that stuff has been
I can't speak to
that stuff has been well documented too. Like, so you could actually watch that and you could compare the two and stuff like that.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't speak to the dub because I didn't watch the dub. I know people have a reverence for the original dub actors who returned to do the rebuilds.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so the Netflix dub will have different actors than the rebuilds if people will watch the dubs. So that's just something to keep in mind.
And do you know about the voice actors for the like the original, like the subtitle?
I believe they're the same. They sounded the same to me.
Yeah.
And I think they were because they show up in the documentary and I believe they are.
Cool.
The same. So yeah, it's something else. It's like because then you look at something like Final Fantasy VII Remake and how that will give you fan service. But then it's like, okay, all right, good. Are you nice and happy? All right, cool. Because now we're gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah.
In a good way, It's like you've played that game. You've played it.
Here's something new.
Now let's go do something.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting to see what they're going to do with the next parts because I have a feeling it's going to be drastically different.
Mm-hmm.
Drastically. And it's very exciting. So it's like it's it's very different. Like you kind of see this with you know, there's a new Superman every 5 years or whatever. There's a new Batman. So that gets rebooted all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's sort of a common thing in comics. But like there's something different whenever it's something that runs for so long. There and people hold such reverence for, when you can just sort of, it's like this sort of postmodern attitude of where we can take what you know and just mix it up. And it's not as easy as just creating a pastiche of what you know.
Yeah, and it's more impressive too when you think about what a lot of Hollywood is, which is just a lack of original ideas and just like remaking stuff from the past, and a lot of TVs reboots nowadays.
Right.
A lot of it's pretty uninspired, and it's just doing it because people liked it and they'd like to see more of it, without any real direction or purpose or drive, you know.
Right. Like there's such a difference between, you know, a gritty Ghostbusters and a Riverdale, you know, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, you know, what quality aside. And then wherever you see the original creative team continue a beloved cult series.
Yes.
Yeah, it's something else.
That's exciting. You've convinced me. I'm gonna jump back in.
Yeah, it's must watch. It really is. My only complaint about Amazon's subs is that the first movie is closed caption subs, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But then the other three just have natural subtitles.
Well, that's good.
So I don't know what happened with the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, I was assuming since it's Amazon that they would all be closed captioning, so that's actually a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah. And some of the art in this, my God.
Oh yeah, because these are, at least the later ones are probably high def, right?
I believe they all are. At least they felt like they were.
Cool.
But the later ones, Jesus Christ. Wow, like some visuals. And they've incorporated CGI in a way that is not like overdone or feels like that it's overtaking the original key animation. Just yeah. It's special. It really is.
Awesome.
All right, so that should do it for us for this week. I feel like we covered a whole lot on this show.
Yeah.
Just want to give you a few reminders on the way out the door. You can follow me everywhere at DeadEndRoad. Check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/DeadEndRoadTV, twitch.tv/DeadEndRoadTV, and YouTube. You can do a search for DeadEndRoad TV and get you there. And so it turns out, in order to get a custom YouTube URL that'll be nice and easy to read off, you need 100 subscribers. So if anybody wants to help us out and get us to that number so I don't have to do a janky-ass YouTube search outro, that would be really appreciated. It would help us out. Check out deadendroad.co. There's going to be some product reviews coming, including one for the Razer Blade 14 laptop that I'm working on. And as a programming note, it's actually embarrassing that I put this here this week, but I'm just going to say that look for new episodes every Wednesday, because that's when I've been able to get them out. Except for last week, where I was not able to get it out on Wednesday, so... which would be this week, whenever I'm saying it. But, I'm living in like two different timelines whenever I'm talking about editing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was not able to get the episode out on Wednesday this week. It'll be out tomorrow, the 20th, which is Friday. But in general, look for Wednesday's release because that's been how I've been able to have it edited and out for you. So, just unfortunate that I decided to announce that the 1 week that I couldn't get it done. So
you probably could have just said it's coming out Wednesdays and nobody would have really questioned you.
Of course, but I wanted to be... It just feels dumb. It's like, hey, wait. But yeah. Wednesday, new episodes Wednesdays. There we go.
Hump day.
Oh, yeah, and the email, video@deadendroad.co. Send us your tarot questions.
Yes, please do so that I don't have to come up with any more on the spot because I'm really bad at improvisation, as you could tell from that entire segment. I did not know what was going on.
Yeah. I don't think I have any other reminders. I think that's it. Yeah, that should do it. All right. See you in the next one.
See you next Wednesday.
Yes.